Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another Magic Arena video. Today we are going to be playing with some Grixis Control, obviously a Grixis based deck. This is not the list that runs both the Nicol Bolas from M19 and the new Dragon God Nicol Bolas. This is just the Dragon God Nicol Bolas, which is featured right here. This card is honestly absolutely fantastic. So it comes in for 5 mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker. You can pay one, or excuse me, add 1 loyalty, you draw a card. Each opponent then exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. It does give them the choice. -3, destroy target creature or planeswalker, which is really helpful. And then -8, each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or permanent loses the game, just straight up. So very, very powerful. On top of that, it does have all loyalty abilities from all other planeswalkers on the battlefield, so if you happen to have any other kind of planeswalker out, like maybe Liliana, for instance, if it'll get there we go, you can +1 it, create a 2/2 creature. You can -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures, or -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. We do also run Narset, which is pretty awesome. It helps kind of keep the resources of the opponent down by making sure they can't draw more than 1 card each turn. And then you also get to dig through your deck by a matter of 4 cards each time. Reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it into your hand. Obviously, because this is a control deck, we're going to have a lot of that. So we do have some hand destruction with Thought Erasure. Some flexible removal with Angrath's Rampage. So you obviously get to choose which one you're going to use here, but oftentimes it's a 2 mana sack a creature for the opponent, which is pretty nice. We do have a little bit of interaction just in terms of counter spells with Sinister Sabotage, creature removal with the Cruelty, Ritual of Soot as a really good way to just to clear the board, especially against early kind of aggressive decks. This is just a great card. I'll get to the Widespread Brutality in a minute. The Eldest Reborn is a great way to, again, deal with the board, deal with the resources, and then also gain use a little bit of long-term value. We do only run a 1 of this, but it is a really, really powerful card. A new card here is Commence the Endgame. 6 mana spell, which is a lot, but it can't be countered. You draw 2 cards and then you amass, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So amass is another kind of theme of this deck, which is really, really awesome. You're able to get out all these army creature tokens and hopefully deal a good bit of damage that way. What's nice is they're all tagged onto a lot of just really, really high impact spells, like Enter the God Eternals, which we've talked about before. We've actually used this card before and seen how great it really can be. It really does swing a game in your favor. Widespread Brutality, pretty similar. So this is a really good way to sweep the board in an early situation, but it's also a really good way to deal with just any opposing creature if you already have a creature like a mass token out, an army token. You Widespread Brutality, amass 2 onto it, and then just sweep the board like crazy. Even if it is in the early game and you play this on turn 4, a lot of times you're going to hit a lot of stuff with this, especially against like the mono red lists or the mono white lists, or even like the Rakdos sacrifice kind of deck. It's really, really good against that. So pretty excited to see how that does. We do have God Eternal Kefnet. Little extra value, a little bit more of a swinging flyer, which is also good, and it's obviously very, very difficult to get rid of. So all of that put together means we have one very, very scary control list here. Really quick, I will just say we do run a pretty big gambit of dual lands here. Obviously only 3 basics, but hopefully you already have those dual lands on your arena account, so you can hopefully build this deck for yourself. This is a pretty rare heavy deck, and honestly mythic heavy deck in terms of the god, Dragon God himself, but it is a really, really good one. I've played a couple games with it, not many, so I'm really kind of learning as we go here with this one, but it should be pretty fun. So let's go ahead and jump into game 1. Alright guys, here we are for game 1. We are just doing casual games again, just kind of testing these lists a little bit. Also, I did change around some settings with my my virtual machine here, so I'm hoping it runs a bit smoother. This is an interesting hand. So obviously we have the Rampage and the Cruelty. If it's a creature deck, we're in pretty good shape there. But we don't have any blue mana, which means we're probably not going to be able to cast the God Eternals for quite a while. I don't really like that. This could be a keep solely based off of these. But honestly, I think I'm going to have to mulligan this. I'd rather have all three colors if possible. Uh, and while this isn't perfect, I think I am going to keep this. It does have all three colors. Yes, the second land's going to come into play tapped as well as the first, which does kind of suck, but this does have a couple of plays that do seem quite worth it. I am going to throw the Thought Erasure on the bottom here because we will be digging for lands as much as possible here. And I do think, yeah, we'll go ahead and play the Drowned Catacomb here. And we will pass. I don't think it really matters too much what land we play at that point. Yep. So unfortunately, no land on that draw, which does kind of suck. Hopefully, we will get one this next turn. And if we do, we should be in good shape. Okay, so what we will do is go ahead and Thought Erasure. Looks like they're playing the Spells Matters deck, which is perfectly fine. Here... so I don't like the electrostatic field because long term it represents a lot of damage, really it does. That being said, these lightning strikes and these shocks obviously represent a good bit of damage just on their own. Obviously it's between lightning strike and the field. I think I'm going to take the field, honestly. That way I can deal with the creature on board with the cruelty next turn, and then hopefully move forward from there. That way they're not dealing any extra damage, and I'm definitely leaving Watery Grave on top here. And I'll go ahead and play Watery Grave and pass. So we will see what they're going to do. It's quite possible they just Lightning Strike shock us and then swing in, or just Wizard's Lightning, that works too. That's obviously going to deal a good bit of damage to us. But next turn we are able to at least deal with the Prophet, which is nice. But they are dealing just tons and tons of damage this turn. Thankfully, this does mean next turn they may be out of gas if they just don't, if they brick on like a land or something like that, then they're just kind of done. Obviously, they do still have a Lightning Strike, which is not great, but I don't think they're going to have too much else other than that. So the question here is, do we just want to play the God Eternal or just the Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh, which definitely seems quite good? I think here what I'm going to do is I don't want to lose more life if possible. So I'm going to leave that untapped, and then we're just going to go ahead and get rid of the cruelty. It is probably not necessarily the best. We're not getting our most high value spells out of it, but it does deal with the creature on board, which is great. And it doesn't give them an outlet, continual outlet to deal more damage to us. And they're just burning us out like crazy. Hence why I did not want to take extra damage if possible. Oh, and obviously we couldn't have played Nicol Bolas, duh. I can't count, as it turns out. Oh, that's bad. Okay. So we are literally down to 2. We are 1 burn spell away from losing this game. Oops, we will decline to reveal Sulfur Falls here. And I do think here we go ahead and I think we just Nicol Bolas. I'm just kind of looking through my options here, but I do think that's the best option. And honestly, I think we'll minus just to get rid of any threat of this creature, and then be able to also open up the ability to start swinging in. So that's going to be the plan. I do think this burn deck just had such a strong start against us, which kind of sucks, but we did have a bit of a slow draw, I guess, too, but okay, well, that's good. Decline. There's no sense in revealing it. We'll go ahead and draw a card before we do anything, which does mean they're going to have to start sacrificing permanents, which is great. And then we will go ahead and throw that out tapped and attack. And again, unfortunately, we are just at the mercy of their top deck at this point. We do not have a counter spell, which would have been ideal. But thankfully, they're just drawing mountains, which is certainly a good thing. We will decline. We will draw again. Let's see, we get a drowned catacomb. Let's see. I wonder, maybe we could have thought erasured there solely to get rid of anything on top of our deck that we didn't necessarily want, but I don't know that that really would have mattered too much here. Definitely potentially could have. And it's also potential... So that's not good. That's definitely not good. I think we just lose now. Yeah, we could have just amassed 2 there just to close out. Okay, decline. We will go ahead and thought erasure them. Again, do not want that. We want to do this first so that way we can set up a better draw here. We will go ahead and draw. I guess technically that's not in their hand, but I do think that that just means we are in a very bad situation. Had we amassed with widespread brutality earlier, I guess it's potential we could have already like closed out this game because we would have been dealing, I guess, 4 extra damage. So we probably should have done that sooner, which is probably a bit of a mistake, but so that could have actually won us the game, which does feel bad. Don't like that. Unfortunately, this just means that they win, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Well, there you go. So unfortunately, I do think we could have won that. I think that was just a misplay on my end. Had we widespread brutality'd sooner, we would have had more damage on board, which probably would have been a better way to go. But as it stands, that is game 1. We were actually pretty close, surprisingly, just because they were so quick on that burn. But we will go ahead and jump into game 2. All right, here we are for game 2. Again, with this Grixis Bolus list, very much just a Grixis Control deck, but one that I very much like. Do not like this hand, though. Too much late game, not anything in the early game, so I do think we just have to mulligan this. A lot of powerful stuff, but unfortunately we just can't use it, and I do not like that. I don't want to go down to 5 if I can help it, and this does have a search for Azcanta, so we should be able to get into our lands. That's me being a bit greedy, but we're going to do it. And that 100% goes to the bottom. We just want lands at this point, so we'll see what we get. Hopefully we get lucky. But a turn 2 search is going to be pretty nice. It's going to be able to dig us through our deck a little bit further. Hopefully mean that we just keep hitting more relevant spells in this game versus just hitting a bunch of, unfortunately, not as useful stuff. I'm going to go ahead and play the island here. Next turn we can always play Drowned Catacomb, or depending on the land that we get there, we can always make a decision at that point. But this also just means that we have a little bit more options for next turn's land drop. Ooh, Wild Growth Walker. So this is probably... Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so we will play that, and we will play... yeah, we will play Search. There's no other option here. Again, hopefully digging us through our deck a little bit. Next turn, we have the ability to Rampage or leave up Sinister Sabotage. The only downside with this deck that I've noticed, or one of the downsides, I should say, to this deck that I've noticed is that stuff like Rampage and Sinister Sabotage don't really work super well together because Rampage is a sorcery, and obviously the Sabotage you want to leave up as an instant. So kind of sucks because you really have to be somewhat proactive on a lot of cards versus reactive with things like Sinister Sabotage. So it's a little weird. I am going to keep this on top because we do want to get towards that Nicol Bolas as quickly as possible. We will go ahead and play this. Oops, I totally misplayed. Oh no, that was a mistake. Oh guys, I feel bad. Definitely should have played the Drowned Catacomb. Oh, that's bad, that's bad. But hopefully they don't have anything too crazy this turn. I was kind of thinking this would be a Citadel deck, but I haven't seen any black mana, which makes me think it's probably not. It's probably just a green-blue Explorer. Not 100% sure, to be honest, but we will certainly find out. That I will put in the graveyard for now. Again, really just trying to hit these lands as much as possible. So we can have them sack Vivian if we would like. Or this. Can we do both? Yeah, I guess we can, right? Yeah, no. Nope, nope, nope. Hold on. Red. No, I guess we can't. Yeah, we can't. Well, that kind of sucks, but we will do this. And I do think we will have them sacrifice Vivian because it's going to be drawing them into more stuff. And it doesn't seem like they're actually doing all that much. I mean, they have a Wild Growth Walker, but they haven't even explored yet, so it's a little weird. And I'd rather them not gain long-term value off of that Vivian. We could have left it on the field for Nicol Bolas, 100%, but it looks like they have another one, so that's interesting. Okay, it's totally fine. So they're going to start digging. Next turn, we can God Pharaoh, or I keep saying God Pharaoh. We can definitely Dragon God them if we would like, but we will see. So they have explored now, but I do like Narset. Do I like it more than? I think I'd rather have. I think I'm going to keep it. That might be incorrect, but it is going to be able to dig us into more stuff, which I like. So here's the question. Do we just play Bolas? Or do we Angrass Rampage, excuse me, and then set up a Sinister Sabotage, or just play Narset? Both are options, but I think either way we got to do that. I think we will play Narset here to dig. This also is hopefully going to bait them into attacking a little bit. And then here, I think we'll have them sacrifice a Planeswalker. Again, just trying to get rid of Vivian here. We aren't, I mean, pressure is definitely on a little bit, but it's not the worst. And we kind of want, there we go, Widespread Brutality. That's going to be pretty good, I think, right now. It's going to at least get rid of the Branch Walker, and then if we can dig for any more... Man, they have so many Vivians. This is insane. Alright, fair enough. They destroy Search for Azcanta. And looks like, yeah, they are going to attack here. And that's fine. Again, saving ourselves a little bit of life here and gaining another turn is perfectly fine by me. So now, do we Widespread Brutality, or do we Dragon God? So we can do this. They're going to have to sacrifice a creature. They'll just use the Branch Walker, and then they'll kill Nicol Bolas next turn. What are the abilities here, though? Look at the top 4. Creature or land, not super excited about that. Just target a creature with flying. So I'm going to Widespread Brutality here, I think. Yeah, let's do that. I want to start getting something on the board here to at least start applying a little bit of pressure. Dealing with at least one of their creatures is nice. They do have Jade Light Ranger. Not great for us, but we will see, especially with that counter. And another counter. So that's 2 Explore triggers. Whew. 3 Explore triggers. That is definitely not good. So what do we want here? We really want Ritual of Soot, I suppose. I'm just going to take this for now, because again, if we can stack up some damage, that would be really ideal. Unfortunately, that's not going to stack up damage, but this does let us deal with one of the creatures and leave up Sinister Sabotage. I'm going to do that. No attacks, though I could attack Vivian. That might be... no, I don't think so. I think I just need to save us the life as much as possible. Yep. That's definitely not great for us. They can Hydroid Crisis here. I mean, we definitely counter it, which is going to Surveil. And we'll see what we hit on the Surveil trigger. Do I want that? I mean, it can certainly... Nah, I don't think I do. The trouble is, like, if they just explore one more time soon, like, it doesn't do anything. And we'd have to wait till next turn to use it, which I don't like. So they are just going to block there. As much as I don't want to, I'm going to take this. Solely because, if we can stack up another trigger, that's going to be great. Okay, so 4 damage target creature, and you gain life equals damage dealt this way. Alright, so... And then we're going to amass. So this... Blow up the Jade Light Ranger. Or the Branch Walker, excuse me. Amass 4, gain 4. So that puts us in a position where they can't really... I don't think we can attack. We could definitely take out Vivian, which is important. But I don't think that we can do that right now. So we're going to have to say no attacks. Just because if they explore just like a couple of times, then they kill us. Like if they have a Jade Light Ranger plus any other explore spell, which they've been digging with Vivian already, so it's pretty likely. Plus we know that they have a Jade Light. Then they can just win off the bat, and we can't do that. So unfortunately, I don't think we have much of a choice on this one. Yep. Like I said, that would have been bad. The problem with the... so I guess we could... It's target, so that would have probably been more important. Yeah, it definitely would have been. Might have misplayed there then. Definitely misplayed. For some reason I was thinking target player like sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker. That would not be ideal. Okay. So we do have to chump block here. That kind of sucks. Again, I may have misplayed pretty badly with this one. Sorry guys. Still learning this deck a little bit, so I do apologize. Destroy. So this is fine and all, but we just lose next turn, right? Because they're just going to deal 8. So, yep. I will go ahead and concede. Unfortunately, again, I definitely misplayed there. I was misunderstanding Nicol Bolas himself, so that is my mistake. But we will go ahead and game 3 this. Hopefully, we get a win in with this one, but we'll definitely see in just a second. Alright guys, game 3 with this Grixis Control list. Again, a couple of misplays on my end. I think we could have won game 1 for sure, and game 2, I don't know if we could have won it, but we could have definitely put up a better fight. Here, again, I keep running into this issue. We just don't get all of the colors that we need, and especially with a hand where we have 2 double blue spells, we need blue mana. The only castable card on turn 2 is going to be the Rampage, so I'm going to mulligan this. And I do think we keep this. Turn 1 Summit into Island, or no, I don't know. We'll see. I think we keep the Summit because that's going to allow us to widespread Brutality at some point. But unfortunately, all these lands are going to be coming into play tapped. Definitely possible here that running extra basics might be a good idea. This list came from Aether Hub, which is where I pull most of the deck lists that I actually run for this. And so I would 100% argue that that might be a better thing to do, just because you do get situations like this where a lot of things just come into play tapped, and that's not obviously ideal. So here we'll play Watery Grave tapped and pass. So it looks like they... Okay, well, they just conceded. Nothing actually happened, though. So maybe we'll go ahead and play a game 4. Technically, we won. Yay. But that wasn't much of a game, so we'll see what happens in an actual full-fledged game. So we'll go ahead and do a game 4 really quick. Alright, guys, game 4. Here we go. Again, the last game, unfortunately, they just conceded after, like, the second missed land drop. So here... I do think I keep this. It's not great just because we don't have many plays for the first couple turns, but I mean, we do have Search, which is going to help us dig, so I think we have to keep this. And we do have some really high priority spells later in the game, which is always great. So looks like we're going to be against, yeah, the mono white life gain deck. I've seen a lot of this deck around. which is fine. It's a fun deck. I definitely think it got a lot worse when it came to like widespread brutality, things like that. Like they just kind of knocked this deck out. Because generally the issue with this mono white life gain deck, at least that I have found, and that might be that could definitely just be my experience, but it definitely seems like it peters out pretty quickly. In the version that I ran Mentor of the Meek and then the Militia Bugler and things like that just to help dig into more creatures. Gideon Blackblade is certainly a good card though. But without that, it doesn't seem all that great. So here's my question. If I Ob Nixilis's Cruelty on Gideon Blackblade, does that actually work? I think I'm going to graveyard that. I'd like to actually pull some relevant spells here. Well, that's not one. So we'll go ahead and do that. We may be doing a silly play this turn. I'm not sure if that works. It gains indestructible, but it's not destroying anything. I'm gonna try it. Guys, this might be dumb. Does it work? Yes, because it exiles it. Sweet. I like that. Okay, that was what I was hoping for. I wanted to make sure that would work. Sometimes you just gotta test stuff, guys. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. If you misplay, it's fine. It is what it is. Do we want that? I do kind of think we want that. Anything to kind of keep things low on the opponent's side. Yes, they have the Vanguard, which is definitely going to be a bit of an issue, but we do have Nicol Bolas next turn, and they've only got 2 cards left in hand. So, target player sacks a creature. You are now my target player. So I assume getting rid of the Hawk, which is perfectly fine. And then next turn we're expecting to Dragon God, probably. So it's destroy. I don't really like that, obviously. But yeah, so they're going to get rid of the Hawk. And we will pass. See what they've got. Search for Iskanto really helping us filter our draws here. Always a really great card for sure. Just absolutely love it. So that is probably going to get God-Pharaohed. Or, I say God-Pharaohed. Dragon Gods. Ooh, that's a good one too. I think we keep that. We do have the land for Nicol Bolas now, which is great. Yeah, so I think we do this. I don't know why that swamp is just like chilling there. No clue. There we go. Sorry for the lag, guys. Okay, and then we are destroying Gideon's company, because that is definitely a threat. We cannot do that to the Vanguard. I mean, we can, but they're just going to pay the life, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and just give it indestructible until the end of the turn. Another Vanguard. Ooh, that is a strong card for sure. So, this is an interesting life gain deck. I've not seen this kind. So, I'm going to graveyard this. Kind of want to hit a land here. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Well, that seems ideal right now. This gets around indestructible, if I'm not mistaken. So let's give it a shot. And they cannot do anything about it. So I like that too. They certainly have some pressure, which is great, but yep, get rid of that. And then hopefully whatever their next play is, yeah, so we can definitely enter the God-Pharaohs on that. That's absolutely no problem. We're going to graveyard that. We just want to be drawing into action right now, 100%. Ooh, and speak of action. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this to start applying some pressure. We could commence the end game right now. which is perfectly fine. That's definitely a good play just to draw us into more action. But because they have so little going on, I just want to get some pressure on the board and make sure that they're literally doing nothing at this point. We're going to go ahead and create a zombie as well. And we will see what they've got. Certainly, yep, there we go. Okay, so Liliana showing off her true colors in that game. That was a much smoother game, obviously. We had a lot of the answers to a lot of what they were doing. Definitely an interesting life gain deck, though. I actually kind of like that one. So, Grixis Control, a lot of fun. Definitely a couple different lists going around right now. This is obviously only one iteration. Highly recommend checking out a few different ones and even play testing this one just to see what you think about it. Maybe play around with that land count a little bit, just so you're not getting tapped lands a lot more often. I think it runs the full 12, which is a little much in my opinion. It may be 10, I'm not 100% sure. But regardless, very fun deck, very powerful control deck. Love seeing Grixis again. I love Grixis control decks, so it's a lot of fun. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like or a comment down below. And as always, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our awesome content. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next Magic Arena video.